exploring lakes, rivers, and reservoirs across the country with an unyielding goal to enlighten viewers from a fish-eye perspective. Come along and we'll investigate the habitat. Much more than a fishing show, this is an eye-opening aquatic experience. Welcome to Kim Stricker's Hook and Look. Disparaged by political rhetoric, Florida's Lake Okeechobee finds itself in the middle of a blue-green algae controversy. In spite of the publicized drama, the Big O remains an outstanding fishery. This week, Kim and longtime friend Tom Mann Jr. cover water and discuss the outlook of the famed destination, but not without question or forthcoming concern.
There's a better fish right there. Lake Okeechobee is alive and well.
Lake Okeechobee is the second largest natural freshwater lake contained entirely within the contiguous United States, second only to Lake Michigan. This 730 square mile bio-network persists as one of Florida's ecological treasures, serving as a haven for wading birds, waterfowl, and wildlife. What's more is, this body of water boasts a legendary fishery. Well, at least for the time being. With that said, there is some concern about Okeechobee's future environment. Weather events and years of misguided decisions and management have allowed the lake to become nutrient-rich, throwing off its natural balance and spawning algae blooms. Exacerbating the quandary, mainstream media has sensationalized this issue, jeopardizing the area's only source of tourism and the livelihood of those who rely on its waters. News reports have misled public opinion, pointing a finger and erroneous blame directly at the Big O, when ultimately, they should look a little further upstream for the root cause. Veteran tournament angler and 9-time Bassmaster Classic qualifier, Tom Mann Jr. has settled in the lakeside community of Clewiston and now guides professionally on this scenic gem. Today, he and our host Kim Stricker embark on another angling adventure in hopes of provoking a few quality bites.
In these big grass flats like this, what I've found is if you get a bite, I'm going to throw right in there. If I get a bite, you do, because usually they're kind of running in little packs, little groups, you know, and most of the time you can catch a couple, 3 out of one little spot.
Got one? Yeah. Ooh. Good job. The net?
Yeah, I'll net them. I don't know.
Why not? Why not?
I don't think it's a very big one, but it's a start.
On the cutter worm.
Yeah.
You've been saying they've been biting them things. Well, that's not a bad fish.
There we go.
Okeechobee bass.
Yeah. It's a start.
Yes, it is. Yes, sir.
And Kim, these fish right now are just so beautiful, man. They don't have a mark, Kim. You know, there's not a mark on them. They're just fat, healthy, just pretty fish.
Yeah.
Good one.
Good job.
I love the way this worm looks in the water though, man. It's beautiful. Catch a lot of fish on a swimming a worm here.
Yeah.
Everything that swims out there loves this thing.
That rage tail on this thing's got so much action. I mean, it's fast. Cutter worm coming at you. Oh man, did it swat it.
Didn't get it?
You
sure? You sure he didn't get it?
He swatted it. It's not very big color.
Need to net or no? Yeah, about the same.
Yeah, I guess it is.
There you go.
Not that big, but man, he just like a freight train.
Yeah, they nail it. There's no doubt about the bite.
But using the smackdown braid, man, that's it's just a little guy.
Yeah.
We'll go for a better one. When you pull a cutter worm out of the package, you can see that the tail is hooked by that. That's to protect the integrity of the tail. So you take that piece off. And again, I like to rig it tail up. Some guys tail down, but like Tom says, it don't matter as long as your hook is in line with the tail. So I'm exposing and I'm going through and I'm just kind of, but you want to make it so it's in line with the tail. That is the 7-inch cutter worm.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful in here. This is probably the biggest patch of hydrilla on the whole south end of the lake right now.
Coming up, the benefits of healthy aquatic vegetation. Stay with us. Hook and Look is brought to you by Strike King Lure Company, #1 in fishing lures. Lose, feel the difference. Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Seagar, trust Seagar when everything is on the line. And by AquaView, reinventing underwater cameras.
Does look good in here, doesn't it?
Beautiful, prettiest grass on the lake. These fish in this grass, in my opinion, are just constantly moving and roaming, hunting, chasing a bait, hunting a bait. I don't think they sit in one spot unless you got a hole or a shell bed in the middle of it.
Yeah.
They really took from something different for them to hold on, which you don't have here. It's just all the same.
One of the primary reasons the fish are holding in this area is the presence of healthy undergrowth. Lake Okeechobee is a natural lake, not a man-made reservoir, and its natural water filter is the aquatic vegetation. These plants, whether native or an exotic variety like hydrilla, provide varied environmental benefits to the water body. Aquatic plants provide food and habitat for waterfowl and wading birds. In addition, the foliage offers a place of refuge for young fish. What's more is, aquatic plants stabilize the bottom sediment and serve as a sieve, sifting the suspended particles out of the water, in turn providing a more desirable water clarity for the bass. Furthermore, and this is vital considering recent controversy, aquatic plants absorb nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus from the water. Taking all these benefits into consideration, it would seem logical that the Fish and Wildlife Commission, in their aquatic weed management agenda, consider easing up on their widespread herbicide treatments on Lake Okeechobee. Why not make an effort to maintain a greater amount of healthy aquatic vegetation within Lake Okeechobee? Indisputably, aquatic weed management is a necessary procedure where vegetation hinders navigation and recreation. But extensive treatments, as performed in the past, may actually be compounding the algae dilemma.
If they didn't manage it, it would totally choke it out. But managing it and totally nuking it's two different things.
For 50 years they managed it and it was just fine. Then all of a sudden in the last 2 or 3 years, they're just trying to kill everything. And that's what we don't get, what we don't understand. All of a sudden, just out of no reason, this lake's been the same for, 100 years. And it's always been great fishing. You ain't never had to kill the grass like that. Why now? What's the reason? Nobody will tell you.
The weeds are the thing that's naturally filtering the water.
It's not only great for fishing, but it's great for the water filtration, with the problems you got with the outflow.
They're compounding the problem by removing the grass. And if you raise the water, that's going to kill the grass as well.
Yeah, you can't keep the water level. We've had high water here for 4 and 5 years in a row. It's gone down for a certain amount of time, but they won't leave it down for any length of time at all. And high water along with the spraying, it's devastated the filtration on this lake. It really has. Florida Wildlife Commission is the one that's over the spraying. Florida Wildlife Commission is supposed to be over the game and fish.
Take care of the game and fish.
Taking care of them. But they're doing just the opposite on this lake, I can tell you that. Get them, buddy, there we go. On a roll, on a roll.
I think I dropped those power poles. This one's a little better than the last one.
Let me know when you want that net now.
All right.
There you go, good job.
That's the thing I find in Florida. is you catch a lot of these size.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then out of the blue,
Just
a monster. Them big ones got to be hanging someplace.
I know where they're at out there in that lake.
Yeah, you do. Well, do you want to just go there?
I would, because
All right,
it's
all
a
right,
lot
all
of
right.
water. We get one bite out there on them reed heads. It's probably going to be the one we want.
Mm-hmm.
So in line with Tom's recommendation, the two run out a boat lane, passing acres of reeds and shallow pads, as they make their way towards the open lake.
All the good ones out there have been 6+.
And they,
You don't expect to get a lot of bites, but you know, and I've caught a couple little ones out here too, but.
stick one of those ones this lake's known for. It's what we need.
There he is. Good one. That's the one we wanted right there.
Yeah,
That's not a giant, but
it's not a giant, but it's better than what we've been catching.
I thought he was bigger than that.
Yeah, I thought it was bigger than that
When you
too.
said on it.
Did you see how he was 15 foot to the
That's why I
side?
know. That's what them big ones usually do. That's why I was thinking that's got to be a good one.
That shows you how fast they're hitting like a freight train and just going with it. Wow. There's a good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
No. 2-pounder.
Usual size. Clean that or
Nah.
yeah. That's a
Maybe a little better, but not what we're looking for.
yeah. Jumped all over that worm. He was in there kind of tight, wasn't he?
It's crazy that we hadn't caught a 4 or 5 pounder, 3 or 4 pounder. That's crazy.
Coming up, we'll go vertical for better fish. Right after this. Welcome back to Lake Okeechobee. As Tom Mann continues to cover water for active fish, Kim begins to penetrate the thick vegetation with a rage menace grub. There's a likelihood that the better fish are holding tight to the reeds today.
Ought to be a good one in here.
That's a good fish.
There's a good fish. There's a better fish right there.
Finally.
You pitch a long time to catch it. That's on the little menace grub.
Yeah. That's a beautiful bait. That's perfect for what we're doing. A little compact, with a lot of action on the tail.
I mean, you got to admit, it's been a grind.
It's been a grind.
Time of year.
Yeah, it's still hot. Water temperature's 80 degrees. We've had no cool weather. And until we have that cool weather and get, that's a female, she's pretty fat.
Yep.
They're a week or two from starting to come in.
I mean, you can see all the beds that you got all through
they're
this
beds
area
everywhere.
here. But she's just sitting here staging, I guess, before.
Yep.
What's crazy is they come up and they start spawning early, don't they?
They spawn. I've seen them spawn here in November, and I've seen them spawn here in May. Only lake in the country that the spawn lasts 5 months.
Lake Okeechobee is alive and well. What's your view on the blue-green algae?
Well, the first time I came here was May '83, and I've come here every year since. Of course, I live here now. I've been here since 2010, and we've had an algae bloom every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this year, a couple of things happened. In May, we had an excessive amount of rain, right? So it brought in a lot of fresh water, brought stuff in from the Kissimmee River Basin down there, which if anything's bad in Lake Okeechobee, that's where it comes from. And it was hot. It was already in May, it's already in the 90s. So what happened was we got an early algae bloom. The bloom usually doesn't even start until about July. And then we got an excessive amount of water, which raised the lake level like 2 feet. So, we got a dike that was built in 1933. It's just an old earthen dam. That thing, is not the strongest, structure in the world. So when that water starts reaching that 15, going toward that 16-foot level, the Corps, which they should, they start releasing that water. They can't hold that water against that old dike. So of course the bloom, it's on top, and it just went right with the flow both ways, east-west. And and I know the people in the coast don't like it, And I can tell you this, nobody likes putting it out there either. But it's, you know, it's kind of a necessary evil. In other words, you know, when we release water here, the algae goes with it. And we did have it's probably the worst bloom that I've seen. It's Mother Nature. You know, it's not Okeechobee's fault. We've always had an algae bloom. This is nothing new.
But the media has played this up, like you say, toxic Lake Okeechobee.
But you know, the media thing, if you look at every picture you see,
Right.
it's always in a dead-end canal, stagnant water that sits in there, it doesn't move, and it's going to be stagnant.
Even on Lake Okeechobee, it's not the whole lake.
No,
It blows it to a certain corner, you know, depending on the wind.
You never saw a picture of a body of water out in the open flowing that looked like that.
We're in South Bay.
Yeah.
What do you see?
Yeah.
I see nice water
Yeah,
with
look
a
at-
slight little bit of,
Just a film on top.
Just a
That's
film
all
on
it
top.
is. Yeah.
It's no secret, blue-green algae has a direct relation to an influx of nutrients introduced by agricultural and urban runoff. It seems logical to me that what needs to be done is to stop the nutrients from entering Lake Okeechobee's water in the first place. If you're compelled to protest, don't accuse Lake Okeechobee. Target your efforts towards the root cause and demand that procedures be set in place that would effectively reduce the amount of nutrients entering the lake from the Kissimmee River Valley. This dilemma has gone unanswered too long. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
To stay connected with Hook and Look, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We'll be right back. This portion of Hook and Look is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Evinrude, the only outboard that lets you have it all. Simms Fishing Products, the choice of professional guides and anglers worldwide. Trickstep, because getting in and out of your trailered boat should be easy. And by Indian River, Michigan Tourist Bureau. Pure waters, pure trails, pure north.
if you spend any amount of time getting in and out of your trailered boat, you'd appreciate a trick step. Whether at the gas station, storing a bag of ice in the cooler, or simply preparing your tackle for the next day's excursion. The stability and convenience of a trick step really comes in handy when launching or retrieving your boat. You climb up and down from your deck with ease, and what's more is you do it much more safely. Each trick step is custom fabricated with precision by Mark Pizer Manufacturing to be boat specific for the best possible fit, then powder coated for a long-lasting finish. Trick step, because getting in and out of your trailered boat should be easy. Feels good though, doesn't it?
That's, you know, always fun to get bit. I mean, and here it's the anticipation, that 2 seconds of not knowing whether there's going to be one like that or a big one is the funnest part.
No truer words were ever spoken. With every calculated pitch on Lake Okeechobee, there's an optimistic sense of expectation as to the quality that could be lurking below. You raise your rod tip, cleverly dancing the lure with patience, confident that a sizable bite could soon arrive. You feel a tap on the line, and boom!
Ooh, there's one of the ones. Oh, there's one of the ones.
Come on, baby.
Get him up here, baby. Get up out of that. Who's there? Oh, that's one of those.
There we go,
There
Tim.
he is.
Find it.
Woo. Lake Okeechobee
Live and well.
is live and well. Get that beautiful fish out of there. Good going, Tom. Man, that's nice.
Beautiful grass in there. That's pepper grass there. There we go.
Look at that.
That's more like it.
He's got a hook right there.
Yeah, we helped him out there.
Awesome.
And that old minnow scrub got him that time. That's a good bait. Pretty bait.
But look at the mouth on that fish. You look down that throat.
There we go.
That's the reason right there.
You come here.
You come here. Because you got the chance to catch those beauties.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very, very good. Look at that thing. Look at that beautiful, beautiful fish. Lake Okeechobee is alive and well.
When visiting Clewiston, Roland Martin's Marina and Fishing Resort has the accommodations you need to make your Lake Okeechobee fishing vacation an exceptional one. Spacious motel rooms, luxurious 2-bedroom villas, swimming pools, and much more. Relax and share a fish story or two at the Dockside Tiki Bar. The Marine Center offers complete boat service, as well as new and used boat sales. For more information, log on to RolandMartinMarina.com.
Lake Okeechobee's fishery remains well for the time being. However, the influx of nutrients and excessive herbicide use is clearly taking a toll and may likely destroy this ecological treasure along with its great fishery if solutions aren't put into place in the near future. I'm optimistic that the government agencies involved, each with their conflicting agendas and practices, will ultimately agree on a meaningful remedy that benefits the entire water system. It's a complex issue for sure, and let's hope for the best. We'll see you next week on Hook and Look.
Hook and Look is a Kim Stricker production.